My name's Stephanie Maynor, and I'm a model here in Denver, and I do print and runway work for various different designers throughout the city. I started modeling when I was about 15 years old in Orlando, Florida. I went through John Casablanca to get some professional modeling instruction. Then I started to model throughout Orlando and Miami, all through high school and college. Then I moved out here to Colorado to go to graduate school, so I took a little bit of a break during that time frame just to focus on studies in nursing. When I got done with school, I still found that little itch, that little passion that I wanted to continue to pursue. So I started back up again probably about 8 years ago, and it's really taken off. I've been very fortunate and have had some wonderful opportunities to work with numerous designers here in town. I really looked up to Gino Velarde, and he was someone that I really aspired to work with. And when that moment came, it was glorious. He was my first designer that I was really itching to work with, and I was very blessed that he finally asked me to work with him, as well as Charlie Price. The reason I enjoy working with Charlie Price, he is so talented, so professional, very good at his trade. He has a very well-rounded perspective of everything when it comes to hair, makeup, fashion. He really knows what's going on, not only just here in Colorado, because he's actually part of the reason that Colorado has become so big, but throughout the United States and internationally. He's very well respected, and I respect him immensely. The key lesson that I've learned in my modeling career is to have a lot of patience. There's just a lot of waiting around. The designer, the hair, and the makeup artist, they're not just working with one particular model, they're typically working with numerous models. So the fashion show may only be a couple of hours in length, but we've been there since probably 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, waiting around to get our hair done, our makeup done, getting fitted, dressed, those types of things. You really have to be present when you're there. I know it's very exciting, and you really have to be able to keep yourself together before you go out on the runway because of all of that excitement, and remember and understand what the artist, the choreographers have expected you to do, because you are putting on a performance for the community. And there is a little bit of acting involved in it. It's not just getting out on the runway and just walking down and walking back. There's a presence to it. You really need to be able to display yourself as who you are as a person in a very short amount of time, as well as keeping into perspective what the designer is looking for too. So mentally, I feel like you really have to eliminate what has happened throughout your day, whether your day was fabulous, whether your day was bad, and pull it together and be able to get on that runway and do your job. I do feel that runway has a lot to do with dance, theater. There is, like I said, a little bit of acting involved in it, because you need to be able to display really what the designer, the hair, and the makeup teams want you to present to the public. Since we're not able to talk on the runway, a lot of body image, body presence needs to be able to be projected to the public so they understand what it is that you're trying to relay to them. Whether it's a designer that's doing lingerie to someone that's doing bridal wear, day wear, evening wear, you really need to be able to transform yourself to project what it is that the designer wants you to relay. A lot of models here in town do come to me for guidance. They have a lot of questions about events, about photographers, designers, how to be present on the runway, how to walk on the runway. Steph, can you help me? Will you watch me walk? Do you have any tips? Things like that. And I'm very honored that they come to me, and I'm very gracious to be able to help them, and I always do. Makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside when they do ask me those things. And really and truthfully, to be on the runway, it takes a lot of practice. It's not just getting up there and walking. It has everything to do with really being able to show that garment, because you're trying to sell something for the designer. And those things actually do take time and practice. And I guess I would say a little bit of talent in order to do that. So I like to teach the models, and it doesn't matter how long that they've been in the modeling career, whether it's been a month or 5 or 6 years. I'm always willing to give tips, because as a model, on the other end, I'm seeing things that they don't particularly see. Whether it's a hand that's squeezed tight, or the fact that their shoulders aren't all the way back and they could be another inch or two taller than what they actually are. So I like to be able to help point those things out to them so they can go home and practice in the mirror. And truthfully, you should be practicing every single day. I don't care if it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes. You really should be practicing every single day on your walk, and also print, getting in front of the mirror and doing different expressions and different poses, watching other professional models, if you will. I know my favorite model in the industry is Coco Rocha, and I watch her all the time on YouTube and get different poses and ideas and things that she can help me learn as a model. Because if you're not growing and you're not open to learning, you won't be able to make it in the industry. You have to be able to grow and be open, and be humble with what you're doing. Modeling relates to what I do for a living, which is I'm a nurse practitioner, and I own a medical spa, which is aesthetic nurse specialist, medical spa, and salon. Modeling really helps with being a confident person. And in my line of work, people come to me because they are undergoing a self-confidence issue with a body appearance, whether it's acne to someone who has been in a terrible car accident and they have scars. They're undergoing chemo or radiation due to cancer issues. My job is to help people feel good about themselves, to be able to go out to public, to go to work, to go back to school, and feel good about what they look like. My job is to not only eliminate what their problem is, but to also help restore their confidence within themselves. If you're not confident about how you look, it really does mess with your mind. Meaning that if you don't want to go to work, how are you going to be able to pay your bills and do the things that you need to do and the things that you love to do within your job? They feel so much better to be able to go back out into the community and do the things that they love to do. So I really feel like helping patients mentally is probably my biggest challenge for sure. Fashion has changed immensely in Denver over the last 10 years. When I first moved here, it was jeans, cowboy boots, and flannel shirts. I think that we are really headed into a whole nother level here for fashion in Denver. It has really progressed over the last years, meaning that we have gotten some wonderful artists here in town. And it ranges all over the place, you know, everything from lingerie to bridal to evening wear, day wear. Do I think that we'll ever get to be like New York, LA, or Miami? I hope so. I think that it's heading in that direction. In order to get the fashion to come here, takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of creativity. We have a wonderful model family, is what I call it here in Denver. Everyone works so well together, which means models, hair, makeup, fashion designers. We all have a respect and a love for each other, which I have found is hard to get when I have been to New York and LA. And probably my highlight, New York Fashion Week, that's pretty big. I get to go back again this year. Baltimore Fashion Week again this year. And then next year I've got some really big things coming up between New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, and I get to actually travel out of the country for a huge fashion show next year. So the creativity, the teamwork, the respect and the love that we have for each other is immense here. And I think as long as we can keep that going, that we really can strive to be better than what is in New York and Miami and LA.